On Tuesday morning, Donald J. Trump boasted of what he described as widespread approval of his performance in the first presidential debate with Hillary Clinton. Those so-called final debate polls consisted of readers on news sites who were asked for their opinion of who had won. While it looked good for Mr. Trump, pollsters and some journalists offered a protest. Informal polls on news sites tend to produce junk data that does not indicate how the public actually feels, and should not be believed as an indication of, well, much of anything. Those do a good job of engaging audiences online. And they do a good job of letting you know how other people who have come to the webpage feel about whatever issue, said Molly Ann Brody, the executive director for public opinion and survey research at the Kaiser Family Foundation. But they're not necessarily good at telling you, in general, what people think. Because we don't know who's come to that website and who's taken it. Professional pollsters must ensure that their small samples are demographically appropriate to indicate how larger groups of people think. Online polls do nothing of the sort, allowing anyone who finds the poll to vote, thus opening them to manipulation from those who would want to stuff the ballot box. Users on Reddit and 4chan directed masses of people to vote for Mr. Trump in the instant analysis polls, according to the Daily Dot. Even when there is no intentional manipulation, the results are largely a reflection of who is likely to come to a site and who would be motivated enough to participate in a poll. Intuitively, it's no surprise that voters on sites like Breitbart News and the Drudge Report would see Mr. Trump as the winner, just as Mrs. Clinton would be more likely to find support on liberal sites. It's not just in politics. Take the question of identifying the best undefeated team in the NFL after 3 weeks. The New England Patriots and the Denver Broncos are likely the most obvious candidates for football fans. But when a news site in Philadelphia asked the question on Sunday after a big win by the Eagles, you can guess what happened. While that's an extreme case of hometown bias, similar factors are at play on every website. Frank Newport, the editor-in-chief of Gallup, said most reader polls on news sites are done more to benefit the news organization than to educate the public. In our business, the key is generalizability, he said, referring to the ability of a sample group to apply to a wider population. That's the core of what we do. Typically, it takes a lot of time, and a lot of effort, and a lot of money to do it. The New York Times conducts scientific polling and does not feature unscientific reader polls. On its website, the New York Times Magazine asks a selection of its readers offbeat questions. But each edition discloses the unscientific methodology.